was very much, oh, gear, oh, it just did it. I'm rolling forward in reverse. That is not good. Hey, welcome back to E38. This is as I get used to the YouTubes. This is my third episode, and I'm super grateful to everyone who's tuned in so far. Something I've been meaning to do for a long time, and here we go. So, should have done it during lockdown. I mean, I guess that's probably what everybody says about starting YouTube channels. But so we'll see how we go. I'm going to try and keep up the cadence, getting these videos out. First, so updates on the E65. What can I tell you? Of course, last week I posted up the video. I have sorted out like all the interior little bits and bobs. Today I've polished the headlight, so I shall share that with you. I mean, I think we've all seen it. I did it with varying grits of sandpaper. One turned out a little bit better than the other. I mean, these are, this is quite a high mileage old car. I don't know that you can expect perfection, because the interior of the lenses does look like maybe an old smoker lived in there at some point. With the yellowed lenses, you just don't know what the previous owners did. Blowing smoke rings inside those headlight lenses. So there's not a lot I can do about that. But the outside does look better, and it's incredible how it takes years off, or hundreds of thousands of miles off this car. So I also want to today. I'm going to hopefully find a nice little spot to pull over as I search for somewhere to actually make my videos in the comfort and privacy, of a secluded spot without too much noise and passers-by, and overcome my fear of the camera. Where was I going to go? I was at brain freeze. This car just drives so good. So polished up the headlights. I've done a few bits. The interior bits are done. There isn't really anything else to sort. As I say, I did buy a mechanically sound car. This car saw BMW regularly up until 8 years ago, but there is also a big invoice, and I can't really fault how it drives. The test I want to redo, of course, which was the cliffhanger from episode 1. If you haven't seen that, please do check in on that. It's a very short episode, my first attempt at YouTube's. And I replaced the gear selector stalk, which I'm hoping is going to be, ultimately the reason why the car sort of jumped out of park into neutral or drive, whatever it did, when I was trying to do the valve seal sort of visual test that you do by leaving the car idling for a few minutes and then see the amount of smoke. So today also the conditions are better. It's nearly 10 degrees despite my Alaskan puffer jacket, which I'm now boiling in. And it's not quite as moist, so not my jacket, obviously. The outdoor air temperature ambient conditions are better for this test, so we'll actually see whether the car is a smoky or not. One little thing it does, and if you can hear this, the car on a gentle incline hunts, the revs hunt on if you're just holding them. So I'm between sort of 1.5 and 1800 revs, and it's hunting. The car doesn't have any code specifically for this, but he does think that could be a torque converter. And I mean, to be honest, I'm not an eBayer that says, the various lights on the dash, and it's never bothered me. That does bother me, but this doesn't bother me, because really, if you just apply a little bit more revs, it does go away. And I think you've got to draw a line as to, well, my mechanic ability. I'm not taking the torque converter off, and I'm certainly also not going to pay several £1,000s for somebody to do it on a car that cost we're going to do the numbers, but cool. And I do intend to sell it. I'm not sure what to do. I mean, it's always hard selling these old cars because for reasons I think many of you would know, selling cheap cars sucks. But of course, and what I'm trying to do with this series of videos is inspire a bit of confidence. I mean, of course, I could sell this car and it break down the road, but every used car and every person, never mind salesman, dealership or private seller, occasionally encounters stuff like that. Certainly, having had over 100 cars, I've had my share of cars which were sold to me as perfect, either by a lying, dodgy seller, or just bad luck. And I'm just pulling up to my spot now, so I'm going to see. There's too many people around for me to actually do this, but I'm going to get a little video and we're going to do the test. All right, so you might recognize the spot from my first video. Where are my sheep's gone? The sheep's are somewhere here. Okay, so we'll back up here. Oh, there's no security. Just, just the public, which I'm even more terrified of. Kidding. Right, so we'll do this. By the way, also hoping I have solved the audio quality issues, which I was very much. Oh! Gear. Whoa, it just did it. Doesn't like an incline. Okay, so I'm in reverse. Wow. Slight incline. I'm rolling forward in reverse. That is not good. Yeehaw! All right. Let's go. I mean, it pulls beautifully in drive. See the worry in my eye. Can you see? It's somewhere there. Okay, I'm not going to lie. The gearbox is a little bit funky. After this, now, I say that with genuine surprise. It's been like I've been throwing the kids in here. We've been using it. I've been wanting to see, like what is wrong with this car. Chucked family life at it, chucked a quick post office trip, a supermarket trip, whatever I can throw at it. Haven't done any particularly long drives just because nothing's come up. Other than a drive to Chichester, which I went to go and buy a door for an X5 and a bonnet and a door for an X5. Which of course I couldn't pick up in a car like this. So yeah, so I digress. No, I haven't driven it a lot, but also I don't really get to park it on hills like that. So the way it behaved there is I engaged reverse on the slope and it didn't like it. It didn't really engage. So I'm thinking I'm going to beg my very capable friend and ultra knowledgeable BMW mechanic for some quick ramp time at some point. We're going to have a look at the transmission to see if there is any signs of a leakage, if it's been having a dribble. If it has been having a dribble and we're low on fluid, then that's cool. No signs of the adapter seal going, because basically that was my first worst experience for an E65. I'd spent weeks, so basically straight up, I couldn't use the car for weeks. I was speaking to people about the car, various mechanics, phoning around, being told I needed a new transmission or I could get a refurbed one off the shelf for 1800 fitted. Nobody wanted to do it. I did a lot of research. I heard that it could be transmission fluid, that it could be this adapter seal. No one wanted to play, no one wanted to do anything. And then I found a transmission specialist. I was documenting all of this on one of the BMW forums. Fortunately, I am one of those guys who does return with the solution, doesn't just post his problem and then never come back when he solves it. If that's you, I'm talking to you and you suck. If you don't, come back and tell everybody how you resolved your problem, because then what's the point of the forum, douchebag? So anyway, I spoke to a transmission specialist, spoke about it. They said, yeah, they've done one or two before. Obviously, the transmission fluid's quite expensive. That's one of the biggest costs of the job. They do it. They show me the seal. They've got one on the shelf. It's $5 for this little figure 8 seal. Again, I'll try and show the picture of that on the video. Pop that in, and Robert's your father's brother and uncle and sister's cousin. Anyway, so I swore and I vowed I would never have another E65 again. And I was probably on many forums telling everybody how rubbish they are. And really, so today's the day. Here comes another E38 on style 95s. It's doing that hunting thing. But what we do is we just put a bit of beans. Add beans. This is going a bit slow there anyway. And now just talking for the sake of it, so it's cool. I'll edit all of this out. A few years later, a mate of mine persuades me to buy an Alpina B7 with him to go on a drive to the Alps. And There I got back into E65s. Turns out if you buy well, if you buy a good one, you're fine. If you get sucked into the spec and the looks and the price, and you don't really go with your gut or know anything about them, and you don't ask a friend, then you're probably going to get burned. The valve seal test is really straightforward. You can get the person to do it on camera, and if they're dubious about doing that, then walk, then don't buy it, because honestly, if they've got something to hide, then it's not the car for you. I think I'm of the opinion there's always another car out there. The moment you go and look for one, there's one to buy. If I were to pull out my phone now, I would probably be able to find a car to buy within a mile of where I am that would be attractive, and I talk myself into it, and it would happen today. It honestly, it would happen now. In fact, I saw that E36. I am quite tempted to go and have a little knocky knock, see if that one can be for sale. I think I've seen it before. It's a 323 missing an indicator, so therefore it's got to be a cheap, nice car to buy. I'm sure it's got one owner, one elderly owner looked after it. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the car up on a ramp today due to obviously the place being too busy. But that is something that I will hopefully be able to do in the near future, because we do need to just check out suspension and give this car a full going over with, giving it a polish and replacing a broken air conditioning panel isn't really going over the car to the level of detail that I think I should be doing if I want to sell this as a good, honest example. Now, here's the fun bit I'm looking forward to doing. Get some fresh air in here. Is getting onto a motorway. So we're going to give it some beans. I love giving V8s beans. There we go. Oh yes. Oh yes, it climbs the revs, and we're at 70 miles an hour, just like that. Let's close this for noise sake. Yeah, it's you can probably tell from the camera there. There's a bit of a vibration going on. I don't know whether not sure if the phone will going to give you an epileptic fit over there. It was going to give me an epileptic fit, but that was a good acceleration. Let's just kill this while there's this vibration. Righto, so we have just we've gone for a couple of miles on a motorway at hitting 70, and the definite shakes came up there, so we absolutely have something going on the suspension. This is just bad road surface that is causing the camera to shake now, but yeah, on the motorway we definitely had around 60, 70, some serious vibration going on, so we've probably got a worn control arm, bushing, something of the sort. Okay, so where are we at with the E65? So far, cost-wise, hasn't cost me anything, but if I was to put a cost on the bits that I've supplied, the L7 amp, HVAC panel, rear light, reverse light panel, mirror, so about 120 for the amp. Let's call it 250 quid in parts. Giving myself a generous discount of £200. The car cost 1,650 delivered from Manchester, so we're at 1,850. Bit of elbow grease, polishing a few bits up, and obviously not paying myself for that time. So I think there's probably a good 300 quid budget needed, at least, for suspension components and fitting. Even that is a modest budget. They are expensive, especially if you go for a decent brand, not like these male or HD kits that you buy on eBay for 300 quid I'm more like 180 quid with like every arm and bush and drop link and control arm and stabilizer, the whole kit for $100. You'll spend a day replacing that, or paying a mechanic for a day to do that, only to have to do it again in 3 months' time. Ask anyone who's bought it and kept the car, that's exactly what happens. So a decent arm, a good Lemford arm for a car like this is going to be north of 100 quid a part, but you won't have to do them multiple times, and that is kind of why you'd go for the better part. So I'm budgeting I never went into this with a budget, but I was hoping to spend about $2,000 on this car. I don't think, I'm not really in this to make a profit on it. If I get my money back, I will be very happy. Hopefully somebody is very happy that they get a good car, and everyone kicks a goal, as they say. Look at that, it's just transformed. It's such a good looking car. Seeing some new reg plates, and that will be looking ace. Okay, so now's the moment of truth. So it's been idling 4 or 5 minutes. Okay, here we go. Okay, so there's a bit of vapor coming out there, but believe me, if that was the valve seals, that white cloud would shift off and become a big cumulonimbus and rain down in Africa somewhere, because those white clouds that the valve seals tend to cause are oil smoke, and it doesn't clear up that quick. Once again, thank you for joining me. Please like and subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell for notifications when I'm uploading new content. There's a few more videos yet to come on the E65, and I'm going to dive into some of the other cars that I have picked up along the way. So stay tuned for more.